Generation to Generation Cowboys and Sports Talk. My dad, my partner, my co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
I am your father.
Just to get the Cowboys 2 good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, that's really what this is gonna be about. All right, you're looking live at Generation to Generation Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, and I'm drawing my co-host, my dad, on Saturday evening or afternoon, evening. Cowboy Joe 64 on Twitter. You want to say what's up to the people?
Hey, what's up to the people? This is an early edition Saturday Night Live, so we had to go on a little early. So
Yeah, and so we just gonna right now we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about a few things in particular. We're gonna jump it off with Overshown's interview that he did. It's on DallasCowboys.com. It's also on their YouTube channel. And
you
he's
found
one,
it.
yeah, he's one of our favorite players. So it's always good to hear something from him and to see where he's at. And he always gives tidbits. And so this was a pretty good interview. So we're gonna rock out with this one first, and then let's get right into it and see what he's saying.
Clearly have to start with the number 0.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us the backstory of how it came to be and living your dream now at age 0 with the Dallas Cowboys.
No, I'm definitely living my dream. You can say that again. Living my dream, it's something that I've been wanting since I got here. So it's like getting it, it's like a sigh, okay? But it's the way that I went about getting it, I think I was kind of, a little too greedy coming in, just expecting it, but the way I went about it, earning it, I think I gained a lot of respect around the building, not going around pouting that I didn't have my favorite number. But the fact that I get to wear it, it's a badge of honor. So I'm looking forward to shining in it.
How'd you get the news? Did Jerry call you? You talked to somebody? Or?
So it's actually, last year, going after the Thanksgiving game, my guy Paxton Anderson, he's my guy. They invited me to come to the jersey print shop. And, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, that's cool. That's something that I've been wanting to do. But it's like, I don't know if 13 going to be my number. So, I'm still holding on to hope. So I was like, let me give Paxton one last call. Let me give it one more hoorah to see if I'm going to rock with it. Because 13, it was doing me good. I didn't have no problem with it. I looked good in it. I was seeing jerseys already. But gave Paxton a call. Man, like, can you please put in the word? Like, let me know. Just let me know. Like, you ain't got to ask for the number. Just let me know if I'm going to be able to get it. And he said, you know what, let me give my mom a call. Give me one second. So it was actually came about that I was going to have it, last December. We was just holding on to the news. So, like I say, I'm proud of it. And I'm glad I earned it the way I did.
And you're wearing number 0 out with the rehab. You're out there on the field doing it. Give us an update on your recovery and how it's going.
So go ahead.
It's
and
going real
pause
good. I think it really couldn't be any better. Like, if it was better, I'd probably.
So
next he's going to talk about his recovery from his knee injury. He said some things coming up that kind of surprised me when I heard it. But I just think that's fascinating how he calls Charlotte Anderson's son Paxton. That's who he went to University of Texas with. So he calls him about the jersey. Isn't that interesting to you?
well, yeah, kind of. I mean, yeah, it's interesting, definitely interesting because that's his granddad. That was his locker mate at University of Texas, and Paxton. What was interesting about that to me, I'm thinking that maybe that's Paxton's lane in the family business. Maybe that his lane is the jersey print store because he said they invited him to the jersey print store. So why would Paxton be inviting him to the jersey print store? So I'm thinking that that's probably just Paxton's lane. That's his.
And
that's
they
his
actually had a video when he went to the jersey, print shop. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like I said, it's her son. It just shows you that they are involved, and so. But yeah, he's kind of got an inside connection with the family because I remember Jerry saying during the draft. And what I heard was they actually had Overshown in the second round. but they decided to take Schoon, which is very odd in itself. So they had Overshawn on the board on the second round, and when they got to the third round, they asked Paxton about Overshawn, and what I remember, Jerry said that he asked him about him, and Paxton said regarding Overshawn, he's everywhere. What that means is he's basically playing, sideline to sideline, and that's what I remember watching University of Texas. He was just dominant. I mean, he was playing sideline to sideline, just all over the field. He kind of reminded me a little bit of the famous linebacker from Carter, Jesse Armstead. So, in Texas high school football lore, people would say that Earl Campbell was the best high school player ever, but during your Uncle Keith's day, people were saying that Jesse was the best high school player ever.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, some people are saying, during this time is, Colin is up there, but he reminded me of Jesse Armstead. Jesse was just flying sideline to sideline. He was, a man amongst boys. That's how Jesse looked. But yeah, but I thought that was just really cool that he called up Jerry Jones' son about this jersey and said he had it done last December.
Uh-huh. And let's say Paxton is he's emerging in the Jones organization. That's what the allure is about Paxton. He's growing within the organization. And I don't
Hmm.
know if it's scouting or what it is, but that's what they're saying it is. So,
I'm gonna restart my green screen, and you can actually start up the next clip.
all right.
Be out there playing right now. So where I'm at and my rehab and my process, it's like, where I'm supposed to be plus some. So I know it's a process. It's something we're not rushing just because I look good. There's no need to rush the process. I'm gonna come back when I'm 100%, when I'm ready, when I know I can touch the field and not have to look down and worry about my knee.
What are some things that you can do and some things that you can't do just yet?
I mean, I really, if you ask me, I can do everything. I can do anything and everything. But Britt, he dials it down. I started doing a little light jog this week, so that's a plus. But I'm shuffling, backpedaling, doing all the small things that the beginning of the stages. Like I'm building into it, but I can do just about everything.
You put on Instagram during the schedule release that you'd be active for the Kansas City game on Thanksgiving. Is that still a goal? Is
Oh,
that something that's a realistic goal, or is that wrong?
it's definitely realistic. I'm pretty sure that game is week 13. Oh, come on now, come on now. It's kind of hard to speak on. I'm thinking doing it the smart way, so maybe starting on PUP, maybe not if I'm feeling great. But like I said, I'm gonna let Britt, the Magic Man, do the work. So I'm just gonna come up here, grind like I'm playing tomorrow. So best believe I'm working as if I was suiting up tomorrow. And like I say, whenever they unleash me, I'm gonna be ready to go.
You are one of the happiest people ever. And Brian Schottenheimer seems to kind of fit that as well. How have you enjoyed having him as the head coach? How have you seen a difference in the energy level?
Man, I love it. I'm an energy guy. I mean, every day, I make it, a thing to make sure like I put a smile on somebody's face before I leave this locker room. And I think Shotty is the same way. This is a work environment, but we don't have to treat it as a work environment. We treat it as somewhere we can come together with a family. We all got one goal, and we coming in having fun while doing it. So the fact that, like I say, the energy is, it's what am I trying to say? That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Thank you. So, and when everybody is feeling that way, like I say, you got the locker room jumping around. You got everybody excited to go to meetings. Everybody excited to go to practice. Now everybody excited to play games. So when you excited to play, you excited to win them as well. So just like I said, the culture we build in here, you can just see it throughout the energy, throughout the faces, throughout the building.
Bruce is a linebacker guy. What have you picked up from him early on just about playing linebacker, and what are some of the things that he's
So
taught you early?
just pause it before you
Just the
finish
smaller
the
things,
last part.
Yeah, man. Like I said, like I've been saying, we've been saying this about Shoddy, and the culture and all of this, it's so cliche. Of course, you want every head coaches, every team is talking about the culture and this and the culture that and the culture this and the culture that. But the thing about it is, every team hasn't always has said that something is wrong with the culture. But that has been an ongoing theme here, that something has been wrong with the culture. And the culture is not about winning. The culture is about marketing and
We had
uh,
10 years of poor culture with Garrett.
yeah, we got 10 years
Well,
with that.
really, it's 13 because you had 3 years of Wade, horrible culture, and you had 10 years of Garrett. Just so you got 13 years. We talk about that 30-year drought. You got to remember 13 years is a huge part of it. That's Garrett and Wade Wilson. Not
Right.
Wade
So
Wilson, Wade Phillips. Sorry.
Wade Phillips. So I mean, you got that, but to attack the culture and to go from the one of the worst to one of the best, it's going to take a lot. But it seems like that's what Ishadi is trying to do, and it seems like it's working. I mean, that's what this every player that you hear. I mean, every player that you hear get interviewed from the Cowboys or not, right? Whether or not they try to say it or not, that's what they're talking about. It
Hmm.
always comes up, and that's and as of recent, that's what they're talking
Hmm.
about. Some
That's
way,
the energy too.
that's what they're talking about. Some way or another, it lands on energy and culture and all of that. So, looks like, you know, they're having fun, and
And that was the
really,
'90s Cowboys. They were a partying. They were like, if they had social media during the '90s, a lot of them guys wouldn't have made it because they went hard. No Diddy, but I mean, they it was that's what they did. That's the way they lived, and Jimmy was a part of it. You got a call? Okay. So one of the things I wanted to say about Overshawn is when they were playing his rookie year, they were playing Seattle, and Overshawn was on the sideline, and he had a different energy level from the other guys, and it was almost sort of like the other guys on the team were kind of just looking at him kind of oddly because he was just bringing a different level of energy to the game, and
yeah,
so everything okay over there.
yeah,
But yeah, I was talking about that Seattle game, his rookie year on the sideline. He just was so fired up, and so he was just trying to get everybody pepped up, and some of the guys were looking at him like it's almost like, man, I don't know if we can do that here, but that's what Michael Irvin did. That's what Dez tried to do, and Jason Garrett tried to kill that in Dez as much as he could, and that was one of the problems with our team. But his energy and the way he approaches the game. But what I wanted to touch on is he said that he might start out on pup, and I believe that's the way to go for him, Diggs, and Revel. They really need to start these guys out on pup. Now, um, what do you think is going to happen when he's ready to play if Kenneth Murray and uh, Sanborn, if they're balling? And I heard somebody say yesterday they think Leofy is going to be the Mike instead of Sanborn, which I thought was interesting. But so, how are we going to fit all of these guys in when he's healthy?
you just, I mean, it goes back to Rod Marinelli's and Eberflus type of scheme. That's what they do. This is like the one of the like magical things about their scheme is that that's what they do. They have a lot of players and they rotate them a lot. So he'll play a lot. You know what I mean? I think that they just keep him. That he gonna be fresh. It's just gonna be like when you come in waves. When you have a team that can come in waves like that, you got if you got to stand out in Leofow, and then you come back and you got to stand out in Sanborn, then you come back and you got to stand out in Overshawn
And
and Kenneth
Murray.
Murray doing his thing. I mean, it's just it's like I said, really, this is what's needed because, like I said, in this type of defense that we running, the 4-2-5, the linebackers are the most important piece of the defense. That's the most important group because it's only two of them, and they have to do a lot. They have to cover, they have to blitz, they have to stop the run. They have to do all three of those things. So
Yep.
your linebackers in the 4-2-5 is the most important unit. So that's why you know it would almost be criminal. It would almost make no sense to only have two or 3 good linebackers. In a 4-2-5, you need 6 good linebackers.
Yeah,
And then
we needed to overhaul the linebacker room, I told you before, you can really rebuild your a room in one off season. They can rebuild their running back room if they really tried to this off season. The way we're talking about linebacker right now, we could have 4 running backs, and we would be saying the same thing. We could have had Devin Neal. We could have had your running back from Miami. I can't remember if it's Martinez or Hernandez. I can never
Damian
get it.
Martinez.
We could have had Damian Martinez. We could have had Devin Neal and Jaden Blue.
I think
You've rebuilt your running back room in one off season.
I think a lot of people gonna be sleep. I think a lot of people sleeping on Javonte Williams being good, Jaden Blue being the starter by the end of the year, Phil
Yeah,
Maffa being good. I think
it might be.
we still got Malik Davis on our roster, and another sleeper that I think is gonna make the team that a lot of people are not looking at is what's his name? I think he gonna make the team.
Who?
Um, uh,
Deuce?
yep. I think Deuce is gonna make the team, and I think Deuce is gonna have a role, and I think he gonna actually be able to. They gonna actually be able to utilize him like they should be. I
Well,
think that's what's
Deuce,
gonna happen.
Deuce has a following. It's a lot of Deuce people out there.
Mhm.
I would like to see him, end up being a part of it. I think it's gonna be kind of tough, but if he does, no more power to him.
See, I don't
Obviously this running scheme is probably gonna fit better than what he does. I don't think McCarthy
exactly.
used him right.
See, the thing is, McCarthy didn't use any of our running backs, right? And on top of that, it's just like nobody has ever explained to us how when Deuce plays in the preseason and he's like running all over the place and making touchdowns every single game, and then when the season comes here, it's like him and the rest of our running backs are getting hit in the backfield, and then everybody
Mhm.
says, "Oh, well, Deuce is not. He's a bust." Well, I mean, what are we basing that off of? I mean, because if you were to put Deuce in the 49ers offense, he probably have over 1,000 yards. If you put him in, you know, the running game for these different teams, and when you can just sub in a running back and they do well because of the scheme. Like the
Yeah.
guy for the 49ers, we don't even know his name. But Christian McCaffrey didn't even play last year at all. But they had several other running backs that all you had to do was sub them in, and they were looking like all pros because of the scheme.
Yeah.
So
Well, that all started with Mike Shanahan in Denver. So it started with Terrell Davis,
it did.
the Hall of Famer. He was a 6th round pick, and he only played 6 years, but he had a Hall of Fame career. It's
Now
kind of like Gale Sayers.
I understand that Deuce is small. I get that, but nobody to me it just doesn't make sense for someone to be if you don't look at size, don't look at size at all, and you say, hey, this guy was an All-American. This guy led the NCAA in rushing. This guy all of a sudden has no NFL career, and this doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, they didn't use him right. So let me say this. This is gonna be his opportunity to if he gonna make it in the NFL. This is it.
What's up,
So
Mom?
let's finish listening. I think he's finna talk about the linebacker situation so we can finish this up. We're not gonna be
Really,
all on.
playing smoother is playing faster. I think early on in my career, going on my year 3, it's kind of crazy to say that, but I feel like most of my plays was just off of my athletic ability, my willing to make plays. But I feel like he's a coach that's gonna put you in that spot, slow you down, so you making a play before it even gets to you. So those tackles at the line of scrimmage are gonna turn into TFLs.
What's different about your rehab that you did during your rookie season? Same
It's,
thing?
it's basically the same thing. I tore a couple more ligaments, but basically same rehab. I had to ease my way into it with the PCL, the MCL, but other than that, it's the same process, same end goal.
Did you take notes during that first go around? Like,
Look, mental notes. I like every spot I didn't hit in my rehab. Like I remember exactly where I was at last year in that process. So kind of measure it off that. Go back and look at videos. And like I say, I'm gonna be good when I come back. I'm gonna be real good.
are you at the same spot now than you were X amount of months after that first one?
I definitely say I'm ahead of that. So I'm feeling better. It's just like I said, it's a mental thing. Like once you get over that mental block that, dang, I just tore almost every ligament in my knee. Now it's just strengthening the knee again. So that's all I'm doing.
You describe your emotions that make that postseason show everybody what I can do. 'Cause I've only shown most of what I can do.
I every opportunity I done got to play on the field, I done showed people what I can do. So if that's still a question to some people, then I just say turn on the tape. Of course, I want to play a full healthy year. I want to be healthy. I mean, that's what's best for my team, and I know it's best for my career. So, like I say, I ain't got no. This rehab is actually easier than the first one. First one I was going into blindly, like not knowing what the NFL was. I know I can play in the NFL now. It's just getting healthy.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Overshawn, it's hard not to root for Overshawn.
Yeah, and I didn't know that he had knee injury was that serious as it was. I knew he had torn his ACL, but just kind of hearing about it, it's gonna be kind of hard as fans not to be on pins and needles every time he take the field because
Yeah.
you pulling for him. But he reminds me of Michael Irvin so much. Michael had that devastating knee injury. Now, when Michael had that injury, the rehab and the technology they have now, they didn't have it then. And I was talking about Gale Sayers earlier. Gale Sayers had just a random ACL injury, and it ended his career. So he only played 6 years. But his
Right.
6 years was like nobody had ever seen anything like it.
That's how Overshawn is. He's a heck of a player, like Unc said. It's just that he just has to be healthy because you know the Cowboys. I don't know what it is about I don't know, maybe it's the field or whatever, but they we get a lot of ACLs. We get a lot of those. You know what I'm saying? We get a lot of MCLs, ACLs, PCLs on our field for
Yeah.
some reason.
And he
But
plays, he just the way he plays,
hmm
it's like he just going all out. And
hmm
the thing about him is he's a real tall guy. And he's a tall guy for a linebacker. He's kind of lanky. So your limbs are kind of just exposed a little bit. He's not as
hmm
compact as most guys. And that's what I noticed about him in college. I thought I was like, man, this guy is kind of tall to be playing linebacker.
yeah, he looked more like a safety.
He does, but look, in this game right here, if they can just get him out there and just let him run and hit, when he comes back, he will be terrific in the nickel and just kind of, just ease him in so that by the end of the year, hopefully all of these guys that we got the knee injuries, that's what's gonna happen with our team. We might just probably be a better team the second half of the season
hmm
than we are in the first half. And that's how the team in the 90s was when they hit the scene. They really built to that second part of the season. That first part of the season, you knew they was one of the teams. They started off. They played Washington on Monday night. It was a huge game, and then the year before that, Washington was they had won a Super Bowl, and it was a real big game. And this was like the 90 season, and the Cowboys played them at Texas Stadium on Monday night, and Washington beat them. It was a close game. The Cowboys lost, and a lot of people was mad. Well, the following year, the year they won a Super Bowl, they played them again to open the season, and they dominated. So you knew when they beat that team, but Philadelphia was still the team that they had to get by. They lost to them to start the season, and then they beat them at the end of the season, and that's catapulted them to win the Super Bowl.
I'll be looking at this background. I'll be looking at the background. I'll be looking at Dez. It's just like when Dez was like, well, I know Dez is your favorite 88. Of course, CD is mine. But
Well,
it's
well
just,
Drew is mine, but
well,
Dez is right there. Yeah.
yeah, CD mine, and then Dez would be right there. So it's just like when they would when the ball would get thrown to Dez, it was almost like you knew that he was going to catch it.
Hmm.
It wasn't like no question about it. Just looking at the background, it was just like if we get anywhere near the end zone and they throw it to him, you could just know where he line up, wherever he line up. If Tony
Hmm.
Romo drop back and throw in that direction, you can pretty much just seal the deal. It's a touchdown. You don't even have.
If I ever had a chance to talk to Dez, I would like to know who did he learn how to catch from, because he was a pure hands catcher. The way he would hold his hands, you just knew, he just had that
It's like he
training.
caught it with his hands, like with his
Yeah.
fingers.
And then at the same time, if he had to catch the ball in a different kind of way,
He would
he could
just
do that. Now, CD is like that too. Now, Mike, the playmaker, he was really almost more of a body catcher.
was.
Mike would use his hands, but he was, and Drew kind of was too. But the game evolved somewhere like during Dez time and before that. These coaches, they started training these receivers to catch a different way. My thing is
Yeah,
moving. I hadn't seen it do that in a while.
especially with the gloves. You know what I'm
Yeah, with the
saying?
gloves. So, but yeah, Dez, he was an underrated pass catcher,
Yeah,
no
man.
question.
Oh, no question. And then CD can just like see, he is just special. The way that he can contort his body to catch the ball, like that one catch. I still
Yeah.
think that's everybody talk about the Odell catch and all of that, and I get that. That Odell catch was probably the best catch ever in history. But also, he had on gloves with sticky on the gloves. If that was his bare hands, he would not have caught that. So, but what I'm saying is that it's still you got to give Odell one of the. He still that is probably the best catch ever. I just gonna say that. But
Yeah, he was one of
CD,
the best.
yeah, but for sure. But CD has made those type of catches to where you be like, I've never seen anybody make that type of catch. Like when he made that catch against the Vikings, the way that he like turned sideways in the air backwards, that was just like, like that was unbelievable.
Now
You know what I mean?
you see Chase and Jefferson do that too.
Oh no, we don't know. Chase, dog Jefferson, he do He do other things that you just be like,
Yeah, I think Chase,
crazy.
Jefferson, and CD, to me, they are above, AJ Brown, and it's some who are the other guys they try to put up there. To me, it's just those three, and then everybody else is below them. I think
Yeah. CD makes some catches, and then it's not just CD catches. It's just the way that he like
after the
accelerates.
catch.
Yeah, after the catch, and the way that he just like accelerates past people, that it doesn't seem like he's running that fast, but
The
for
first
some
time I saw CD is when he was playing for OU, and they was playing Texas OU game,
yeah.
and he caught a couple of passes, and he literally ran through the entire Texas roster like on his way to the touchdown.
That was, man, I know exactly what game you're talking about. That was the way that he was running. That's the game where I was like, okay,
Who is
that's the
this
best.
dude?
Yeah, he's gonna be the best receiver in this draft. The way that he would just literally catch the ball, and it would be like it'd be like he would do it with ease, like he was just playing with the defense. He would just
And
run
they
from
couldn't
here to
tackle
here,
him.
here. Nah, it was no question they could tackle him. He was, and then I couldn't believe that all these teams
Passed on
drafted
him.
Jerry Judy and
You like
Henry,
Judy?
not more than CD though, and Henry Ruggs over CD Lamb. That was just insane to me. What's
Yep.
up, B Bird?
What's up, B Bird? Good to see you.
Good to see you. That was insane to me. It was just like, man, my house shook when we actually
See, I had mixed feelings on it because I feel like my boy Dez was on the verge of coming back, and I think when they drafted CD, that kind of knocked Dez out. And I think they was gonna bring Dez back the way they brought back Zeke and Witten.
and then
You know,
the icing
we
on the
had
cake.
lost about that.
Then the icing on the cake, the day after they drafted CD, they asked him what number was he gonna wear, and he said he was gonna wear number 2, and they stopped him in his tracks and was just like, nah, they gave you number 88 officially.
He really didn't want it at first.
He
But he didn't
didn't,
really know the history.
but then he found it out, and he was just like, ain't no way I'm going back to number
Now,
2.
CD, is he from a town outside of Houston?
Mhm.
Where is he actually from?
Did you see
What is it? I saw the catch, yeah.
the way that he the way that he like pulled his body back like that?
Yeah, I
That
think
was
this is the game
incredible.
that we've been talking about that Micah had, the game we keep talking about. I
Yeah,
think
it
this
is.
is that game.
It is. Look at this. This right here, I had never seen anybody do that. Like,
Yeah, it was a great catch.
no way. Like he literally readjusted his body to the
So that
to
was during COVID.
yeah, it
Now,
was
so was
2020.
Micah drafted the COVID year?
Yeah, in 2020.
because we played Minnesota twice, and a lot
This
of
is
people get
this is that game, but
okay.
this is that game, but you always talk about this game as if Micah was doing something, but I mean, because he was, but the game we should be talking about where Micah is the second game. That's the one, his second year against the
Against
Vikings.
Minnesota.
Yeah, that's
So why do
that.
you like that one better?
Well, um, I can show you why.
B
Let
Bird
me.
said he's from Richmond.
He's from Richmond. Yeah, something like that. He from Texas. Uh, Let me find that. Talk about CD while I talk about. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna keep saying this until everybody understands that this is my hot take. Turpin is gonna be the third receiver. Okay, now you can talk about CD.
Well, my hot take is that Turpin is going to be major, but I'm not counting him as a receiver.
He gonna be the third receiver.
So that's the OG's hot take. He just going to be one of the guys that's out there doing his thing. But I
Hmm.
think your I think your receivers is going to be CD, Pickens, and Tolbert. They're gonna try to give Mingo some love just cause they wasted a pick on him. But
Hmm.
yeah, I think in the pecking order, Turpin is gonna be in there.
Well, see, they just gave Turpin a 3-year contract.
Yeah,
Tolbert has a
he's his final year.
yep.
And
So
then the thing about Mingo that people don't talk about, he's going to come up on his 5th year option. So they're going to have to decide if they want to offer him a 5th year option. So that's going to be, so you got two or three 5th year options coming up. That's going to be headline news. So one is Mozzie, Schoon, and Mingo. Those 5th year options are going to be, and then somebody said that one of them players don't actually have a 5th year option because he wasn't. I think it's Mingo.
this
Is
is
it
no, yeah, no, they got a 5th-year option on Mingo, I believe.
suburbs of Houston? So someone corrected me and said that the 5th year option is only the first 3 rounds. So Mingo, what was he? We
He's
got
like a second round
we
pick
got to
on.
we got to research that.
What was he, a first round pick? I thought he was a first round pick.
No, Mingo was a 2nd round pick.
Oh, but this is the one though. This is the one that yeah, we be talking that I be talking about. Like this the one
B Bird, if you listening, how does the 5th year option work? Do you know who's eligible for that? Is it? I know it's based on what round you was drafted in.
uh this is the one I'm talking about. Like from the first player, this is the first play of the game. Watch Michael on the first play of the game.
Where is
This is
he
in
at?
20. This is in 2022.
Okay,
That's the first play of the game. Of the game.
that's the game we blew them out. Now the
Yeah,
game that I like that we played, it was a close game. That was the one that Cedric Wilson caught the ball over the middle. They was
yeah.
beating us. The game
That's
I'm talking
2020.
about, it was
That's
the first time that Cooper Rush had started in a game.
yeah. That was 2020.
Yeah, this
COVID.
game, Dak is a starter.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
game I'm talking about, Cooper Rush was the quarterback. He had
Yeah.
he had this was his first time playing, and
You talking about 2020, I believe, and
yeah,
not
that was
2020.
that game right there. If we could just find that game and just that's the game that Eberflus should be watching, because Michael was just like he kind of played like I was talking about earlier, the Texas high school player Jesse.
I'm trying to see if this is the one where
So
going into
Mingo,
the half.
Mingo, I'm sorry, B Bird. When does is Mingo? Are they gonna have to make a decision on the 5th year option for Mingo? And when is that? Do we think?
Yeah,
This
this the
the
game
game.
we talking.
That's the game I'm talking about. Yeah, Cedric Wilson made that play. But yeah, Micah, I wish Eberflus would watch this game, and that would just show you how you should play Micah. I mean, he was really like Lawrence Taylor.
Well, he's playing linebacker in this game.
He playing linebacker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was dominating. Okay, he said 5th year option is only for the first round. All others, okay. Well, that makes it even more interesting. So that means that Mingo he has, I think, this year and next year,
Uh-huh.
and the same with Schoon. So Schoon, He's really got. Is this Scone's fourth year?
Well, yeah,
You
think
can
so.
stop that video. But yeah, so now today is June 1st. So have we heard? Well, today is the 31st, right?
Yeah.
Have we heard about any NFL news on people being cut?
No, I'm just seeing a lot. I've been seeing a lot of trades being worked out.
Who got traded?
Some people went from the Eagles edge rusher went from the Eagles to the 49ers.
Yeah, I saw that. Some people were speculating about Donovan Wilson.
Hmm.
So yeah, we just gonna see. But yeah, so I had a comment that I made. I said, "Where's Micah?" Well, what I didn't know. So this week, Micah's birthday was I think Thursday. So people don't really know, especially in the black community. Black folks they do their birthday different. So when somebody have a birthday, they be kind of like on their own planet. Michael's celebrating his birthday. So that's one of the reasons he's not there. Not an excuse, but someone did mention that he was doing a big thing for his birthday. Shotty said he ran into him at the airport, oddly enough, and they had dinner at the airport. Which the Shotty and Micah thing is. So, what did you think about Shotty saying that he wants to have the best culture in the NFL? We was talking about that earlier. Is that kind of a stretch?
No,
Okay,
that's why I
so
said that's why I said it's not a stretch because that's what I was saying earlier. Everybody always talks about having the best culture, and I mean, and but nobody has been talking about the bad. They have a bad culture except us. We're the ones. This team is the one that says that we have a bad culture. So for them to say we have a bad culture, and then for our coach to focus exclusively on that, it's not a stretch at all.
Okay, so B-Bird says Schoonmaker was drafted in 23, so that means that he'll be
This
on
is
the team.
another
Um,
another 2 years.
yeah, so this will be but I still think he's going to be in a battle to make the team this training camp and for sure the next one. We're going to see
He's
if
not.
we're going
He
to
not.
see
He
if
gonna make the team. That ain't no question.
and you 100% sure of that I'm not.
I mean, yeah, he gonna make the team.
Man, if Fairweather and John Stevens come back, he's going to get pushed for
Yeah,
sure.
but like I said, I
And
don't
don't
think
let
that.
and don't let Joe Milton get out there and start dapping it and start just dapping these dudes up, making plays. 'Cause that's who's gonna be playing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I just don't see Scoon being pushed and not responding in kind. I don't think that he gonna be like they're gonna be like, oh, Breakfast Spans Ford is just better than you. I don't think that that's gonna happen. I don't
Mm.
think that he's a better blocker than him. I don't think that he
Well,
gonna, you know,
we gonna see who's right on that.
they if they throw the ball to Scoon, he gonna catch it.
I don't think he catches the ball very well.
Well, you know.
But hey, if he's playing great, I'm gonna be the one that's saying, "Hey, I was wrong," but we
It's,
gonna
it's
see.
gonna have to take it's gonna have to take someone to come out there and look like Jake Ferguson in order to start over him.
You don't think Fairweather can do that?
Mm-mm.
Well, we watched him.
I
He's
think that
impressive.
Fairweather. I think that he can play really really good, but do I think that he gonna take Schoon's spot? Nah. Should he take Schoon's spot? He should. If this was our team, would he? Yeah, Schoon wouldn't even be on the team if
So
this
you
is our
still
team.
think it's a front office thing?
Yeah, it's just a that's just
Different
a
different
thing.
coach though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but I just don't see it. It's just like I just don't see Toye coming in as taking Mozzie's spot. I just don't
No,
see that.
definitely not him.
I don't think that anybody short of like DJ Reader coming in and taking Mozzie's spot. It's not him.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. I think Mozzie's probably going to be, unless they take DJ Reader. Mozzie's
Like
going to probably be your starter, but I don't like Mozzie playing a whole lot of snaps. I
like you
don't.
can say like the weak spots on our team are like that we could just I could just name three players right now that I say they the weak spots on our team, and you would have to say it's Mozzie, Tyler Guyton, and Schoon. None of them are going to give their positions up. They're all going to start this year, all
I
of them.
feel better. I feel better about Guyton, but we still got to see him play.
And watch. because last year, he was bad last year, but the whole team was.
Yeah, he struggled and he
And
changed positions.
these these brothers, I'm gonna just say it like that. These brothers, these guys like Mozzie, these guys like Guyton, they pride is too high to go out there and when they back us up against the wall, they black that ain't happening. They gonna come out fighting, swinging with everything in they might to keep their position, and most of the time that works. Most of the time when you have a player like that that's giving it they all because they back us up against the wall and everybody's against them and people are cheering for them, they usually prevail.
So you and B Bird on the same page. You said the Cowboys don't like to give up on second round picks. I ain't disagreeing with y'all. I just want to see him get challenged, and I think we got some guys.
Do I like Schoonmaker over Brevin Spanford and our Fairweather? I don't. But in reality, is he gonna play over them? He absolutely is.
You probably right. So it's gonna make preseason
Man,
fun to
my
watch.
boy almost dropped that pass against the Redskins. I'm talking about they hit him right in the hand. He
Who
almost
was
dropped
that?
Schoonmaker
What
against the
play was
Redskins.
that?
When he caught that touchdown in the end zone, back in the end zone, he almost dropped it. I'm
Mm,
talking about it didn't even look natural.
well, he
He's out here.
struggled. He struggled with the you know catching. Brian Brothers has talked about that. So look, I was watching Vach. Shout out to him last night. Um, he was talking about some of the guys that he just still want to see him in action. He's talking about Guyton. He was talking about Mozzie. And what he was talking about is a lot of the guys were drafting like Booker and Overshawn. They just had that natural, affinity for playing football. They really love to play. They love the game. And so he was just saying that he's still not sure about Guyton and Schoon, but he wants to just see it, and that's kind of what this season is going to be about. Can these guys, it's guys in the locker room now that they love football. The intensity is high. They just ball. And so Schoon, Guyton, Mozzie, they're gonna have to step it up because the roster is getting better. And it's getting better with guys that love football.
Schoolmaker, I think Schoolmaker gonna take the next step.
Okay, well, we'll remember you said that once things get going.
I mean, I definitely want. What's up, Hoodie? The basement boys. What's up, Had to step? What's up? What's up? We definitely
Yeah.
want to see him do good. I mean, golly.
Yeah. So I'm really excited with the OTAs, and then we got this June 1st, thing happening. So it's going to be probably a lot of news to cover as we kind of gear up for camp. So we got to look at the training camp schedule to see when we can go, especially on a Saturday. That's probably be the time. But if it's I'm going to look at the calendar. He said I'm the only one that's not sold on Overshawn.
What? Yeah, you are the
B
only
Bird,
one
B
that's not
Bird.
trolling. Are you
So you
trolling?
gotta tell us on that one, B Bird, because
Yeah, we trying to figure that one out. We see, but you got and y'all got to understand too that we are big University of Texas fans in this household, and
and I
so
think
we're
B Bird is a Texas guy too.
so we just we've been watching Overshawn since he played for the Texans, and we've been Overshawn fans since back then before he was even a Cowboy.
Yeah, I
He was
think
the
he's a
best
good
player on their
quarterback.
defense when he was there. He
Yeah.
he
So,
he stuck out like a sore thumb. You seen him? He made every
oh,
play.
so that's the other thing. They were talking about the June 1st cuts and the salary cap savings. So with Donovan Wilson, it was around $7 to $8 million. They also talked about Damone Clark. He could be a June 1st, and it wasn't a lot. It was about 4 million. But so Mike Fisher was talking about this. Shout out to Fish. He was just saying some of the guys that they could move on from. The Cowboys is going to have one of the best cap situations in the NFL if they let some of these guys go and sign Micah. So that being said, we don't have any excuse not to bring in a couple of more defensive tackles and Stephon Gilmore. They're
I
going to have
think
the
they
money to do it.
I think they're gonna do bigger than do better than Stephon Gilmore.
So who you? who you think they're gonna? Because they got Diggs and Revel, so
I think they're gonna do better. I think they're gonna do like
you think they're gonna go after Jalen Ramsey?
no, no, but they'll do somebody like like let's just say Asante Samuel Jr. gets healthy. It'll be him. Let's say somebody like
I definitely want Gilmore over him.
what's my guy name from Denver? Jaquan McDaniel, I think.
You was talking about him the other day.
It'll be somebody like him. Somebody that's
Yeah,
gonna come in and be like a day one youthful starter that can be here for a couple years. But if it all falls down and you gotta get Stephon Gilmore, that's perfect. He knows the defense already.
hmm
He can teach your other corners. You want those kind of extra pieces to help your rookies and to help your second year guys. Stephon Gilmore, he would be wonderful for Siobhan Rayville. He would be wonderful for what's that guy name that was our fifth round pick from last year?
Kalen Carson.
He'd be good for Kalen Carson.
Okay, B Bird said he's a UT fan, but the best ability is available. Yeah, you can definitely say that.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I get you
and
that.
and he might not have heard us earlier, B Bird. I said when he comes back, I'm gonna be pins and needles just watching him, just hoping that he can just. He talked about it in his interview that he needs to play a full season. So
But
yeah,
but
definitely pulling for that.
B Bird, the reason why he's also hasn't been available is because of how good he plays. That's a part
Yeah,
of it. You know what I'm saying? He
yeah.
plays like a maniac because you know what I mean? Because he's
And
that
he got
good.
hurt at Texas too.
He did. He do a lot
Yeah,
of things that you be like, how does a human body do that? And the result of that is a torn ACL.
yeah. So he just needs to get out there and play. I'm really excited about the fact that he said he's thinking about um, coming in on pup, and that's the way they should go.
I'm really good that we have this many decent linebackers. So he doesn't
hmm
have to be all of that he was last year. He don't have to do that because you know, he has players that are healthy right now that are really, really good. Like
Yeah.
like Jack Sanborn. He's really good. Jack Sanborn might be like the he might be one of the best. He might be the best defensive player that they've added. That was already an NFL player, not counting like Ravel and all of them. And he might be the best defensive player that they added. And
So
then you
let's
got your
let,
boy.
let's go ahead and wrap because I know you got to go somewhere. But see if you can pull up Kenneth Murray's interview on YouTube. I'm gonna refresh my screen. We got to figure out what's happening with this.
Yeah.
So pull up Kenneth Murray, and then we can look at a few minutes of that, and then you can go ahead and bounce. I really wanted to hear what he had to say.
I mean, you can just look at this guy and tell that he's just ready to roll. He's just, he's happy, he's excited to be here. He's gonna play a lot, you know. And this time it still didn't bring it back. So
Yeah, I'm probably gonna just go with my banner that I had, especially when the regular season started. I ain't liking the way this is doing. Get my other stuff hung up in here. I just don't like this wall being gold.
yeah.
But
I mean,
this
always,
Murray,
man. I
Mhm.
think the first thing you need to start by building a great defense is stopping the run, and so I think that was really the first thing that Flukes kind of talked about is stopping the run as a pillar of our defense, and so it's definitely going to be I think an emphasis for us.
What have you seen as a part of the I mean, it's been a problem here for a while, and I don't know if you knew that or that if they talked about that. What's going to be the difference? Why will the run be stopped this year? What's about this scheme, the players that's going to get it done?
Well, I think it's just taking a different approach. Obviously, it's a new staff coming in, and then you got some new players. I think me personally, that's something that I take extremely personally. I think when a team rushes on you, and I think that's for the front seven. That's something that we have to take personally, and I think that's the mentality I'm gonna bring to it. It's just it's personal, man. It's some things about when they throw a touchdown on you, but when they just running it down your throat, that's just it's unacceptable. So I think for me being a backer, having that mentality, and then just the new staff coming in already emphasizing stopping the run, making sure everybody's on the detail. I think that's what it's gonna come down to, just us being detailed with the approach and then the mentality aspect of it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
What was your
You can
opinion
go ahead.
what was the reputation that you know?
So yeah, we close out. I think he's gonna be a big factor. I like the way he's talking about how they need to take it personal when you can't stop the run.
Yeah, and then like I said, everything else just I like Murray, Javante Williams
We
more
talked
than
about
most fans. Yeah,
Javante earlier. You like him?
yeah, I do. I like him be better because I had him on fantasy a couple years ago, and so people sleep on him. They don't really know
I had
that.
never heard of him.
Yeah, people sleep on him. They don't really know that he's a good back. He's not. He's average. I'll say that he's average.
So
He
when
gives
you
him
when you won the fantasy championship, he was one of your backs.
no. When I got second place, he was one of my backs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I got second place, he's one of my backs, and I mean, and he were good. He did me good for a long time. So, nah, he's definitely a good back. He's not.
Now he had the knee injury too.
Yeah. So he's not just a chump. He gonna be your starting running back.
And he said, like all of these guys are saying that this is the first time he's felt like great. So we'll see. It's gonna be some guys on our team, man, that are coming out these knee injuries. That's when you first come back. Obviously I had the knee surgery. We talked about it on our show before. I was talking to one of my frat brothers today. Russell was there. You didn't see him. He's Earl's lion brother.
Yeah.
But he was telling me that he had the ACL on his left knee, and so these knee injuries, man, it's mentally, that's the hardest part, the mental part. Just I remember doing rehab, and my rehab lady, she was like a drill sergeant, and she had me doing these steps, and so she had stacked these steps together like they were stairs. She said, "Do you have stairs in your house?" I was like, "Yeah, we have stairs." I said, "We have like 17 flights of stairs." So she said, "Okay, so she put these steps, these stacks, they were like Lego blocks looking things. And man, she had me walking up those things, and I really couldn't do it. And the hardest part was coming down. So she had me walking up and coming down, and I was like, so she was like, by the end of this week, you're gonna be able to do this. But the reason I really couldn't do it, I just didn't have the confidence. I mean, I just couldn't put that pressure on that knee. Going up was easy, but coming down was a hard part. So that's the mental thing that guys talk about. I know exactly what that's like.
Let me tell you something. Javante Williams is like what he was
25.
what he was really good at when I had him
Oh, that's the other thing about Schoonmaker we was talking about earlier. People forget how old Schoonmaker is too.
yeah, he's an old guy.
So, but yeah, we're looking forward to watching Javante B Bird. So hope you guys are right. You ready to go ahead and wrap? Because I know you got to bounce.
Yeah. Yeah, so Javante Williams was a dynamic pass catcher out of the back of the end zone. He was out at the back of the backfield. He was a dynamic pass catcher. He would always catch passes and take them.
Okay, we can go ahead and wrap. This is a early Saturday Night Live edition, a quick show, even though we've been on 53 minutes.
All right, yeah, so we'll go ahead and wrap, y'all. We're gonna make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next one. We're gonna probably hop back on probably Monday, I guess. So we'll see what's going on Monday after the June 1 cuts has started to develop. So we'll see y'all then.
Something big happened tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll jump on tomorrow night.
Oh, we could do that next time, really. I mean, we can do that. If you want to do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
You can jump on it.
So B Bird, I'll DM you and we'll set it up.
Yeah.
You definitely one of our guys for sure.
For sure, yeah. So we can do that ASAP. That ain't no thing.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have Hoodie on too, so he can jump off his show too. So we'll do that. That ain't no problem.
Yep.
So y'all
I really
want
want to have B Bird on. B Bird, if you're listening, when we can just kind of let some people know you're gonna be on ahead of time, and we can just set it up, give you time, and then just let the listeners know that you're gonna be on with us that way. Because B Bird has a lot of followers too.
And B Bird been down since day one, like one of the first.
And Hoodie.
And Hoodie too. So
so we'll set it up, guys. It ain't no question about it. We're gonna do that.
We got you on that. So y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And then yeah, Hoodie, we gonna make sure you join too. So ain't no big deal. We got that. So we'll see y'all probably Monday. We'll drop in and we'll talk about what some of these June 1 cuts and we'll catch up. So everybody, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all then. Holla. Peace.